eat, I beg for your grace, and read. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Club Growth Director of Division F under the auspices of District 94. My fellow Toastmasters, please join me with a resounding round of applause to welcome to the spotlight our moderator, the diligent, the convivial, the excellent Toastmaster Abubakar Gimbar.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly for that wonderful introduction, Toastmaster Craig. Merci beaucoup. I just came back from Lomé and I am French. So if you are hearing English, that means something is wrong because I am speaking French. Thank you very much once again for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, fellow distinguished Toastmasters, if I am allowed to say that. Welcome once again to this edition of the Afterwork, episode 46. And today's session will be all about beating the clock. For our trainer today is somebody who I personally deeply respect. He joined Toastmasters back in 2012 as a charter president of Merit Toastmasters Club. He rose meteorically through the ranks, and by 2018, he had become the District 94 director. During his time in Toastmasters so far, he has been the chair of the District Leadership Committee twice, first by special appointment back in 2015, when he was a past divisional director, and then again in 2019, when he was the immediate past district director. He is now the chair of the District Reformation Committee that has successfully submitted a proposal ratified by Toastmasters International that District 94 will grow into 2 districts in less than 2 years. He is professionally a practitioner of holistic integrated medicine, focusing on health rather than disease and on healing rather than symptom suppression. He is also a neurologist training and coaching individuals and corporate bodies worldwide in brain optimization for better productivity. I believe at this point in time, you would know that we are in good hands. And what is more, he is a former director at Guinness Nigeria PLC. He speaks French, he speaks German, he speaks English, and he speaks Yoruba. I can speak French, I cannot speak German. English is good. But the Yoruba thing, I think maybe I'll see you after this so that we can see how we can, begin. Yoruba is a very beautiful language to hear. He is the advocate. He advocates the philosophies of one for all for one, and also keeping the main thing the main thing. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you do not know who I am talking about by now, then something is wrong somewhere. But for those of us who are interested, who are curious to hear the name regardless, I would like you to welcome, if your hands are busy, especially if they are busy, I want you to give a round of applause to distinguished Toastmaster Abayomi Ayeshimeji as he takes on the stage. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much for your very warm and encouraging introduction. I hope you can all hear me very well.
Yes.
Can you?
Absolutely.
Can you hear well?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We can hear.
Excellent. And I hope you can also see me.
Absolutely, yes, sir. We can see you. We can hear you.
Excellent. Excellent. Wow. Where does one begin? The main thing. The main thing. When you come to think of it, what we're dealing with this evening is really one of the main things in Toastmasters, that which we refer to as the Beat the Clock Award in Toastmasters. Of course, you know there are other awards to do with membership building. We have the Smedley Award, and we have the Talk Up Award. But the three awards that I've mentioned, very importantly, we should note that they are membership building awards. And without membership, there will be no Toastmasters. And we're talking about the particular award, which we call the Beat the Clock. If you want to achieve a goal, then the first thing is for you to know what that goal is. Yes, we've spoken about Beat the Clock award, but what precisely is that award? So that when you go for it, you know what it is. And from there, you can also know how to reach it. It's been said that this award is what you get if between the date of 1st of May and the 30th of June, in the course of the master's mandate, if you are able to have 5 new or reinstated members, then as a club, you would qualify for that award. I should quickly state also that it is not all new members that would fall into this category. For example, you cannot have a charter member counted as part of the people you want to win this award with. Neither would a transfer member qualify. In other words, somebody is a member of a club, and for reasons that he has asked for a transfer to your club. Mark you, he's paid his dues in the club from which he's transferring. He only transfers to your club to be a functional member of that club. Such a person would not qualify as one of the possible 5 that you need to have from the 1st of May to the 30th of June. All others would qualify. But to be quite sure that you do what is expected here, you have to see to it at least by the 30th of June, the world headquarters, and basically online, has received the applications of the 5 members concerned and all payment. No payment, no counting of any member for you to earn the Beat the Clock. The other thing we want to talk about briefly is, what is it in there for you as a club when you get the Beat the Clock award? Everything you do, there's always an incentive, some form of reward or recognition for every achievement. And in this particular case, you will get the club Beat the Clock ribbon, which you can display on your club flag. You will have your name published online among attained to that award, you will even have 10% of the next club or egg. Toastmasters. Please note that you can only use this discount code within 6 months of the award. It's not something that remains there forever for you, but it is one of the incentives that you have for winning the award. However, having put this in perspective, a award, I would like us to take a broader look at wider aspects of the beat the clock spirit. The beat the clock spirit. As an individual, all of us have the 30th of June as the last date of the mandate. And so individually, you can set goals for yourselves as to how you want to beat the clock for the mandate is over. And this can take the form of speeches you assign to yourself that you must give before the mandate is over. It's all part of your beat the clock agenda for yourself. Or a project you want to complete, or a level in pathways that you want to bring to completion. And as a club, apart from just earning the Beat the Clock award, you can also have ways in which you set goals for yourselves. What you want to attain, for example, in the Distinguished Clock program, within that time of work, that framework of time that you have from the 1st of May to the 30th of June. And going even further, the benefits do not end with you as an individual, but the benefits end or extend much further than you. And so at the district level, for example, this, what you do at the level of the club, is going to reflect on the Distinguished Recognition Program at the area, division, and even the district level. Right now, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that the race is on. Who is going to be, or which is going to be the best district in the world this year, the way we were last year. And everything you do, including what we're discussing today, getting more members to join, will ultimately reflect in who comes home with that district award. One thing fits in order, and it spills beyond you, beyond your club, to the entire district. The first thing you want to do, therefore, as to how to earn the Beat the Clock award is you must first know about it, as I've said. You must know the timing for it. You must plan for it. And perhaps best of all, you must be determined to earn that award. And in our club, the Merry Toastmasters Club, we just made this a club tradition to earn all the membership building awards. But how do you do that? You can only do this successfully when you bear in mind these goals and objectives in the very organization of your club and of your meetings. Take, for example, the organization of the club. A very important feature here is to put as many hands on deck as you can concerned with membership building, and to put the right people in the right places. Especially in this case, you're talking about your public relations vice president and your membership vice president. People who are really capable of delivering the goods. Then naturally, this is something you bear in mind all the time concerning your meetings. Planning and holding every meeting, having in mind, bearing in mind the need to score as high as possible in moments of truth. Well organized, well planned, warm meetings that have a lot of diversity reflected in them, meetings that are interesting, meetings in which people are well oriented, meetings if you want to come to, they want to come back next time, and meetings at which people have a lot to learn, take away, something that will make them look forward to becoming members of clubs and continue to attend future meetings. But apart from those general measures, there's always room, whenever you can, to carry out targeted membership drives. Special membership drive meetings can be held. Not just the usual meetings that you have where you slate your speeches, but you can have meetings that are dedicated to membership drives. Also, in looking for these members to help you beat the clock, yes, we've spoken about new members. But one thing we often forget is that there will be people in our clubs who, for one reason or the other, have not been paying their dues or attending meetings. In case they are new, there are people that can be revisited. Experience has shown, and if only we will sit down and ask ourselves, who are those who used to be members of this club, who used to attend meetings, who used to pay their dues, but who are not doing so now? What plan and strategy can we put in place to reach out to them, find out what has been happening to them, and perhaps be able to encourage them to come back. And then one other way in which we can increase our membership, you know that we often go to different bodies, different institutions, different communities with the aim of forming clubs in them. But when you come to think of it, you were not able to separate completely club formation and membership increase. Because club formation will give you membership increase in total. But it's not always that those you go to with the aim of forming clubs in them and or for them will be able to actually form a club. However, very often, even when they are not able to form a club, some of those with whom you interact or to whom you speak, the carrying out of that drive may opt to become members of existing clubs. That way, you also increase your membership. And if this comes within a period of time that you can beat the clock with it, then that will contribute to the possibility of your earning the Beat the Clock award. And I've often told my fellow Toastmasters that if only we would live by the very things we promise each time we say the Toastmasters promise, Toastmasters would flourish much better than it is doing now. After all, at each meeting, we promise to invite people to meetings so that they can know the good that Toastmasters has to offer. That in itself, if every individual would take up as a task, it's difficult to imagine any limit to what can become of Toastmasters. And it's not only means that we should strive and get people interested in coming to, but also activities by Toastmasters. For example, you know, we have big conference coming on 8th of June till 9th of June. It's a great opportunity for non-Toastmasters to be introduced to what Toastmasters has to offer. Ideally, all of us should be like soldiers, going out to see those we can encourage to be a part of that conference. There may not be too many, but there will be some. And hopefully, out of them may arise those who can become members of Toastmasters. And then, as Toastmasters, I've often said that ideally, every one of us should become a Toastmasters ambassador. It's a very powerful way of attracting members. When people wonder why you're different, why do you speak the way you do? Why your composure the way it is? Why are you so eloquent? What is it that makes you think the way you do and act the way you do, dress the way you do? as ambassadors of Toastmasters, this would be a very powerful way of bringing people to Toastmasters. And also, we can take a lead for what has been established in Toastmasters generally. That if, as a club, you really are bent on sponsoring and pushing membership building, then every club should put in place, or could put in place, competition, reward, recognition for membership building at the club level. Because when these things are put in place, it is so encouraging, so stimulating, and people will thereby be able to put their energies more into this and contribute to the possibility of winning the Beat the Clock Award. And of course, last but not least, this is something many clubs do, but we cannot repeat it too much. We keep drumming into the minds of people as that time approaches for the Beat the Clock competition, bringing into their awareness that this is coming. Let them buck up, let them get up, let them begin to act, and all working together, we shall be able to contribute to the possibility of winning that award. And this is where I would like to stop for the time being and see what happens when the floor is thrown open for others who have been listening to me. Thank you very much.
Gimba, you're speaking, but we can't hear you. You're not audible, Gimba. Well, definitely not. Gimba, absolutely not. Okay, I'm just going to step into the breach. Okay. Oh, there you are, Gimba. We can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I was saying that we should applaud distinguished Toastmaster Abayomi for those wonderful nuggets. So please, I know we haven't done that, so please let's applaud him. And I can hear those applauses, even if you don't do it virtually. So let's hear the applauses. Let's hear them. Thank you very much. I don't know if we have any question. I have a few questions myself. If you have any question, please indicate so that I can give you the floor. If you would prefer to type it in the chat box, please go ahead and do that. But I want to be selfish if that's okay, so I can ask my questions first. So DTM Abayomi, I wanted to ask, I don't know if it's going to be digressing, but there are 3 membership building programs in Toastmasters. We have the Smedley Award, we have the Talk Up Toastmasters Award, and then we have the Beat the Clock, which we had just discussed. I understand also there's a reward that comes with winning, with achieving any of these awards. You know, the club gets a special banner to display, and then the club gets 10% off of their next payment cycle. I wanted to know if there's any special award that can be achieved when a club, gets all 3 awards in a year. So a minimum of 15 members in that time frame. Is there any special award that the club would get?
Not that I know of. In other words, a club winning the Smedley, the Cup, and the Basic Club. Winning the 3 rather than winning 1 or winning 2. Interestingly, I don't know of any special award in that direction, because if there was, then Merit will have won so many of it. Because as I said, we made it a tradition long ago to win all those.
Okay. That's very good. Now, thank you so much for that. My next question is, there's a way you present in a way that makes it so easy and seamless to be leaders, right? In a way that makes us feel like leadership is all about solving problems. It's not really a burden. Sometimes it's not even about you, really, it's about other people, right? So one of the motivations to run a proper quality meeting is to attract new members. If a person comes to your club and they see what they like, so they like what they see, they will join immediately, right? So now, what if you happen to be running consistent quality meetings, yet not being able to attract new members, even though you are getting a certain level of guests to attend your club meetings? Is there anything you need to do differently, or any ideas, any tips on how to help with that?
Okay, we've made 2 assumptions, or we've taken 2 things for granted: that you are running meetings, that your meetings are being attended. Well, I guess you're saying that you, in your own estimate, the meetings are also good quality. Am I correct? Okay, good quality meeting. Then that should make one wonder why you are not getting more members. The only thing that occurs to me now is that you may wish to look at the role of your membership vice president, membership vice president, because people sometimes need to be followed up, to be encouraged, so that they eventually will want to join Toastmasters officially. And of course, it should be made known during the meetings or after the meetings, depending on how you hold your own meetings, that the intention is not for the members just to come and have fun and enjoy themselves, have a good time, but there's provision for them to actually become members, which in they can derive the benefits Toastmasters really offers. It's not just by listening to people and enjoy yourself at a meeting. That's one other thing that just occurs to me that would be missing if you're having good quality meetings and they are being attended. Some of them not joining, they could have financial problems. But the VP membership would find that out in trying to follow up and encourage them, and then put in place whatever help that can be offered to meet that challenge of theirs.
Thank you very much. Just Mr. Craig. 5 minutes left.
Our father and mentor, the team Abayomi Aishimodu, thank you most graciously for the sagacity of your insights. There was something that you mentioned that struck a chord with me. You precisely stipulated that we can have special club meetings that are strictly speaking dedicated to driving membership or attracting new members. I was wondering if you have ideas that you can share that clubs can incorporate into these meetings to ensure that that goal is achieved or accomplished.
This would be meetings that specifically state the purpose of coming to know about Toastmasters. And at such a meeting, there'll be every room for you to let those attending know what there is in there for them in Toastmasters, the benefits they can really gain from it. You may be able then to show them or showcase maybe the Toastmasters, like for example, what you sometimes do in showing videos or recordings of those marvelous performances at the international level in speech, in public speaking. And there will be occasions when you can also show them things that happened at the international level, at conferences, things that they will find attractive and which they will find themselves looking forward to being a part. There's no limit to your ingenuity there, so what you can package into such a program. And of course, last but not least, there will be plenty of room for people to ask questions about Toastmasters. And in answering those questions, that should help them in making up their minds as to what they want to do about joining Toastmasters. So it's a broad field into which you can put whatever you think may add value to the meeting as to the achievement of its purpose. Yes.
Thank you most graciously, sir.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? You could either raise your hand or you could indicate.
Good evening. Good evening, Toastmaster Walker Kimba.
Good evening.
Good evening, distinguished Toastmaster Abayomi.
Good evening.
My name is Toastmaster Zainab Adam.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, my question is really about club officers, anyways, the excos of clubs. When you find yourself in a situation where maybe you started initially with all the offices taken, and then maybe mid-year, some of them step down as a result of maybe being overworked or maybe moving away from the location where the club is, or it just could be something personal that would not allow them to continue their jobs as club officers. So in situations like this, and then when you don't have enough club members to just quickly take up the role of a club officer, how do you deal with such challenges? Because sometimes you have situations where the club officers are overwhelmed, or certain club officers have to take a lot of other responsibilities. So how do you deal with situations like this in order to kind of revive the club and sort of get it back on its feet again?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Well, when there is a task to be done, then also there must be the hands to do the task. The picture you've painted of a club where you have the officers having to move away and you don't have enough by way of a pool of members of the club from where you can draw to replace those who are leaving. It is something that paints the picture of what we should ideally not allow to happen in Toastmasters. This is why when we form clubs, usually, 20 members. And so it is always good to have many, many more, so that at an average meeting, you have a minimum of 15 attending. Because if you think of all the role players, you think of the tasks that have to be done, once the figure falls beneath a particular level, you are not likely to have efficient and impactful meetings. You find people having to combine so many roles that they cannot do their best. But if you find yourself in that situation, well, it is those of you who are left that have to work twice as hard. But one of your aims will be to bring in more people so that there will be more hands to take on responsibilities. Because we don't want you being the few who are doing all the work all the time. You're not likely to do it efficiently. So if you find yourself in a situation as one of those in the club, you just have to work twice as hard to change the situation and bring things to a normal, a preferred state for good functioning of the club. That's my own view of that.
Thank you most kindly for that response.
Thank you very much. We have room for one more question. I don't know about you, but me, I'm reluctant to let the DTM go. Okay, you can either type it on the chat box or you could just indicate. So you have a question. Okay, so DTM, we would give you a few minutes to wrap up the presentation formally, because I don't think we don't have any more questions. Remember, if you have a question, you can either post it in the chat box or you could talk to any of the organizers. We can always push it to DTM, who will be very happy to answer your question. I think I have a comment here. The major problem is the financial burden. Many have pulled out of Toastmasters. DTM, Abayemi, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I'm aware of the financial burdens which is making people pull out of Toastmasters, and people have pushed this to the leaders of the district. Why don't you talk to them that internationally they can make a difference to what is happening here? But as long as that is not happening, the only thing that comes to mind is that in some clubs, they could find a way of people paying instrumentally so that you don't have the burden of having to come up with a huge amount. And then when they pay it instrumentally, then they can be registered, and the payment and applications put forward. Other than that, the money is there, the money is needed, it just has to be paid.
Thank you very much for that input. Okay, because we don't have any other question, we would like you to wrap up the presentation before we head over to the toast. Then we close the meeting, we close the Afterwork formally.
Thank you. But essentially, what I've said is that in what we call the Beat the Clock Award for membership building, I think I've tried to make it clear that we should be happy that that has been put into Toastmasters, because it gives us an incentive to do what we have to do. And in this case, to do it before the mandate is over. And we should be determined to bear this in mind, always to try and get that award, to plan for it, to work towards it, and encourage people through healthy competition, through recognition, and through awards, even within the club, to put all hands on deck for the achievement of these goals. And of course, we say that really the best way of ensuring membership is to consistently have high quality, interesting, educative, well-planned, warm club meetings. And for the officers who are particularly in charge, like the membership VP, the publicity vice president, to do their work. And above all, every member should see himself as part of the team, always working to improve the membership side of the club by being ambassadors of Toastmasters. That's my summary.
Thank you so much. Please, a final round of applause for distinguished Toastmaster Abayomi Ayeshimoju. Thank you very much, sir. I have learned the importance of membership building, to be intentional about building membership, the Toastmasters promise, which we should take seriously, to invite guests to club meetings, club recognition programs at club level, and to consistently have high quality meetings. Thank you very much. I also think Toastmasters is probably one of the organizations that doesn't really require much selling. Toastmasters sells itself. All it requires is just for you to bring someone as somebody to come see the meeting, and then Toastmasters basically sells itself. So the hard part is to get guests to attend club meetings. So thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. At this point, I would like to bring the person who would host at every Afterwork event. There's a Toastmaster, no pun intended, who would actually offer some toast. I would like to hand over control to distinguished toast. Oh no, he's not a DTM yet. Toastmaster Steve, if you want me to call you a DTM, you should actually get the first. So over to you, Mr. Steve. I know.
Thank you, as always, TM Gimba, my good friend. Thank you for that powerful introduction. A very good evening to you, our district leaders, division leaders, and fellow Toastmasters. I hope I'm audible. TM Gimba, confirm to me that I'm being heard.
Yes,
Gimba.
please, you are audible.
Oh, awesome. All right, so a very good evening.
I can hear you.
Tonight, and I want to say it's an absolute delight to be back on the Afterwork, especially this edition where I have my mentor presenting. It's been a month of Sundays that I've been here last. I think that must have been like January or something that was on this program last. So it's quite a delight to be here tonight. I want to once again thank my mentor, DTM Abayomi Ayoshimojo. Always a pleasure to listen to him. Not only that you enjoy his presentation, but in the midst of the motivation, he also serenades us with this thing. Thank you so much. I've learned quite a great deal tonight. Thank you, sir. All right, it's time for toast. Fellow Toastmasters, please let's get our glasses with a rich bottle of wine. We are holding a Hennessy, a cognac, or something. Please get it very quickly. And let's toast to our organization. So I have in my hand, I have my glass ready. Please, if you don't have yours, anything you can grab with a bottle of water, with a bottle of Coca-Cola, a bottle of anything. Please make sure you're holding on to something. Gimba, I can't see your own, though. I can't see what you're holding, Gimba. All right, so.
I have so many options. I'm trying to see this.
Fantastic. So very quickly, we are going to toast to that very great organization that has brought us together, that organization that is doing so much to humanity in terms of leadership and public communication. And I speak of no other club that is recognized worldwide, #1 club in this respect, and that's the Toastmaster International. So a toast to Toastmaster International. Please raise your glasses. Toast to Toastmaster International. And then I'll come down to that great district, District 94, who had just had a very hugely successful Lome conference. I was not part of that conference, but the memoirs and the stories we had about that conference was quite mind-boggling. Gimba, I know you were there. That's why you're smiling. All right, so a toast to that great district that is connecting all of us together, District 94. We wish more expansion, more increase, and more growth in the coming years. So a toast to District 94. All right. And lastly, a toast to, yes, a toast to Toastmaster Nigerian Conference Season 2 that is coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the biggest and the most massive gathering of Toastmasters ever in Nigeria, unprecedented, the first of its kind, the biggest gathering, and it's coming up in just about 2 or more days from now, which is the Nigerian Toastmasters Conference Season 2, taking place at Civic Center. So a toast to the success of that program ahead of it. So toast to Nigerian Conference Season 2. Come on, everyone. Yes, so raise your glass and click. See you all there. Please make sure you are part of that conference, either in person or as virtually. It's going to be very, very, it's going to be a signature conference, one that no one must miss. So thank you, everyone. Keep toasting to the greatness of our district, of our organization, and to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the whole of West Africa. Thank you very much. Back to you, Tiangimba.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, round of applause to Toastmaster Stephen Aino. Somebody was so creative, they had a reaction with a wine glass. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. At this point, we've come to the end of the session. I would just quickly like to recognize the presence of leaders amongst us. We have distinguished Toastmaster Stella Odunwa. We have another distinguished Toastmaster Stella George. We have Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho. We have Emmanuel. We have Toastmaster Craig, who is the president of Emery Toastmasters Club. We have Toastmaster Imabong, who is the treasurer of Lentor. We have Toastmaster Ayo, who is the area director for Area 16. We have Toastmaster James, the sergeant at arms. We have a few. I may not be able to mention everybody's name. So please, we have TTM Abdrahim Oregba. We have Toastmaster Ashiata Badmos. To Dr. Loretta, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Ghana. I would like to also acknowledge the presence of distinguished Toastmaster Mwanishola Ayeshimoju, who has always been present, always available, always willing to help and support Division F, District 94. So on behalf of the Afterwork committee and the organizers of the Afterwork episode 46. I would like to once again thank you all for joining. You could have been anywhere else by this time, but you chose to be here today. It says a lot about your commitment to grow and your willingness to improve. So thank you very much and have a good evening.
But likewise.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. I'm just thinking we need to be doing more of these sessions so that we can rope DJ Maboyemi back in.
Yeah, we should. We should.
He has his role cut out for him on Thursday, also on Friday too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Division F. Thank you, Team Afterwork. We appreciate you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.